For the past 15 years of me being on this planet, I have been watching TV and movies. I love it. The whole thing. I'm infatuated with the writing and the storytelling that goes on behind the scenes. However, ever since I was a kid, I've noticed that people that look like me don't match my stories on the screen. India has 1.3 billion people in it. These people come from all walks of life with different stories to tell. There are 267 million people in the Indian middle class, and there are millions of Indian Americans in the United States. So I wonder, why do I get represented in one way all the time? Here's the deal. There are 22 languages spoken in India and over 1,000 films made every single year. Spoiler, not all of these films talk about a lawyer, a doctor, a computer scientist, or a snake charmer. They can't and they won't. Because India is a country that is so diverse, when making movies, filmmakers must make films about topics that actually matter. So why is it that when I look at an American movie or TV show, I'm represented as a nerd? Why am I shown as having no friends? Why am I always the know-it-all? The first representation of Indian people on the American screens was a poo. Does anyone know who that is?
Yeah.
For those who don't, let me explain. Apu Hasalama Pidulan is a character on The Simpsons. He has a thick Indian accent, he owns a gas station in Springfield, and his most well-known line is, "Thank you, come again." Y'all want to know the funniest part of this entire situation? For the largest time, Apu was one of the only Indian people on American screens, and he was played by a white person. That's right, one of the only Indian characters on one of the greatest cultural phenomenons in American culture was played by Hank Azaria, a white person. What that did for the Indian population was it led to an unfair stereotype being placed on a group who largely had no say in the creation of the show. This stereotype was not broken until Mindy Kaling on The Office in 2005. 16 years after the creation of The Simpsons. The funny part is, Apu had a PhD in computer science. A PhD who was a doctor. So that means that The Simpsons must have thought that a PhD didn't give anyone a job, which is funny because at the time of the creation of The Simpsons, a simple bachelor's degree would have gotten anybody a job. Many times with The Simpsons, it may seem like no group is able to escape the wrath of the writers, like every single group is targeted. However, the issue with this Indian representation was when the show was created, there was no way for anybody to say that was racist or that was wrong, because there was nobody who had enough cultural prominence during that time. There was no way for me to say that was racist because for many people, they were just glad there was somebody on screen. For many actors in Hollywood, there's a feeling of pressure to live up to the expectations placed upon them to have that accent. So they make a fake one. They call it pataki, which is having that tongue rolled back and having that stereotypical accent that every single Indian person has. Unfortunately, that's what Hollywood and the entertainment industry see me as. Here's the funny thing. I have no problem with an accent. An accent is a way to fully immerse yourself into a character. The issue I have is when the accent is the defining characteristic of a character, it stops being a characteristic, it starts being a character. The Simpsons has a joke of making fun of character flaws of any given character. For example, you have the deadbeat husband, the lousy kid, the overachieving kid. All of these characters clearly have some